Okay, looks good from here so far. Just open up a thing and make sure I can actually see myself. Oh yeah. And yeah, that looks about right. Cool. Okay. Hi. Uh yeah, pre-release for Midnight Hunt was this weekend, and I went and picked up a booster box of the newest set. And I got one of these. Oh boy. There we go. Yeah, that thing's gonna get a little silly. But yeah, got myself a box this weekend, and I think it's time to start cracking it. I've been waiting long enough. I've been contemplating, do I bother opening, do I bother getting a box? Do I open it now? Do I wait until later? And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna open it up now. I have a sorting tray this time. And this time I'm actually gonna open stuff up and see what I can crack out of here. And oh boy, fresh box is fresh. Oh man, don't you guys love the art they're using for the packages nowadays? That is nice. So yeah, I picked up draft boosters because I don't know about you guys. I love opening packs. And set boosters were about the same price, but set boosters seem to be, I don't know, for me they seemed less interesting. And I think it just simply comes down to, yeah, because if you look over here, um, yeah, if you look over, if you look, good lord, there we go. If you look this way, I've got a browser window open for my local game store where I currently am employed. Pardon me. This costs being a pain in the neck. And yeah, the draft boosters are 150 Canadian, and the set boosters are $5 more. Whoops, that was not supposed to be an ad. Oh well. Uh, doot. Let's see if I can. Oh no, you're not gonna do that. Okay, fine. There we go. Mm, let's see if I can do it that way. It doesn't help much, unfortunately, because of the way this particular window is set up and everything else. But anyway, um, long story short, you get art cards in them. You get a foil in every pack, and you get cards from the list, which is a little it's a little interesting on what's going to be your card from the list because it's it could be anything that's in a list of like three. I think the current list is like 300 plus cards. Um, but anyway, yeah. So I work for Skyfox Games, but I bought this stuff with my own money, and as a result, I use Skyfox for my pricing. And you have to admit, pretty much anybody that does anything remotely along this line is going to um, they're going to reference their own store. Like MTG Goldfish, they are hooked up with Card Kingdoms. They're going to use Card Kingdom for other pricing. Anybody that does stuff with face-to-face games is going to use face-to-face. Anything that does stuff with Star City Games is going to use SCG for their pricing. It makes sense. Well, hopefully this thing has enough of the cards that are on the list that I don't have to go elsewhere. If I have to go elsewhere, I'm going to have to go elsewhere. And if you guys know anything about having seen my previous streams, I tend to take a look at what my, not just what the rares are going to be, but the commons and uncommons, because a lot of them, and especially in recent sets, a lot of the commons and uncommons are really, really good. Um, so now you start off with a blank double-faced card thing. Oh, I've got a human token. Ooh, is that a foil island? No, that's not a foil island. But the basic lands in this set are amazing. Unfortunately, my camera's not really doing justice. Let's see if I can do something about the camera. Actually, I am using the wrong thing, aren't I? You. Webcam. Properties. Can I... Oh, wow. Oops. Oh, it might not be... I don't know if you guys can still see me, but, oh, wow. You know what? I have an idea. I need lighting. Let me see if that will fix this before I get too far involved, because it's been a while since I've done any streaming whatsoever. Let us try setting. Oh, wow. That's going to be bright, but that is going to be light. Anyway, so yeah, human token, basic island. Ooh. I got the new double-faced cards, the new werewolves. I got one that's got like the pretty art, and that is a rare. Let me see if I can pull that one up. Reckless Storm Seeker. Yeah, that's this guy. That's a $4 card right away. That's not a bad start. Yeah, no, I'll put the Loyal Griff. I think that's a reprint. Uh, Ominous Roost. Enters battlefield, or when you cast a spell from a graveyard, you get a 1/1 flying token that can only block other flyers. Uh, Dawnhort Mentor, 3 mana, comes into play. 3 mana, 0/4, makes a human when it comes into play. Oh, this thing is really good and limited because you can pay 6 mana to give to basically targeted overrun one of your creatures. And if you know what that means, you know it's going to be good. Bird Admirer. That thing is fun. Again, alternate art. The alternate art routines on this stuff is cool. Celeste the Sanctifier. Yeah, hold on a sec here. Mm. Sorry, my roommate was wondering what was going on. Celestis Sanctifier. If it's not day or night yet, it suddenly becomes day. And then when the time of day swaps, look at the top 2 cards of your library, put one in your graveyard. This guy. For some reason, holding it at an angle seems to be better for lighting. That's still not going to come out well, but it's 3 exorcism. 2 mana, exile target spirit, creature with disturb, or enchantment. That's going to be fun. Geist Wave. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, so disperse. If you controlled that permanent, so if it's one of yours, draw a card. For 2 mana. The same price. So basically, it's dispersed, but if it bounces one of your own things, you can't trip. Nice. Might of the Old Ways, 2 mana. 2 mana, instant, +2/+2 till end of turn. And then if you've got 3 or more creatures, if you've got creatures with at least 3 different powers. By the way, power in this set is as in power and toughness, which confused a lot of people, myself included initially. And yeah, it's power and toughness. So if they're power, if you've got 3 different numbers for power, you draw a card, which seems good. Drowned Amalgam. 5 mana 5 mana 3/6. Enters battlefield, target player mills 3 cards, and for 3 mana can't be blocked this turn. And again, most of these cards are going to be pretty to a lot of people because, initially speaking, I'm going through all the cards. Rotten Reunion, exile card from a graveyard. Then you make a zombie with Decayed, and it's got flashback for 2. For 1 mana instant. There we go. And Decayed basically means it can't block, and when it attacks, well, it falls over and goes thump, and you sack at the end of combat. At the end of combat, yep. Organ Hoarder. 4 mana, 3/2, enters battlefield, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 1 in your hand, the rest in your graveyard. Good if you're trying to fill your graveyard. I will get used to this eventually. Abandon the Post. Okay. 2 creatures can't block this turn. Flashback for 4. Cost 2. Boop. Arrogant outlaw. Oh yeah, I saw this guy and I was amused. It's like, oh, you lost life this turn? Cool. Lose more life. Alright. Please hold. I swear, everything is quiet, and then suddenly and suddenly it's like, hey, I'm going to stream now, and now everybody wants me for something, and it's people that are, eh, shrug. Okay, another filling card. Ooh, elemental token. Parent toughness. Oh, yeah, nice. Has a funky elemental token. Sorry, it doesn't come out well. I don't know why. Maybe I just need to get a better camera. Um, yeah, it's got trample and parent toughness equal the number of instants and sorceries in your graveyard plus exile. The pretty plains. Intrepid adversary. Oh yeah. So there's a cycle of adversaries. There's an adversary for each color, and they're all like 2 or 3 mana with, I would say, a kicker cost, but the cost isn't when you cast it, it's when it comes into play. Intrepid adversary. That's a $9 card right now. Um, and you can pay that cost any number of times. And then, yeah, it's 920 at Skyfox. Um, and then you get some kind of boost. And they're decent sized creatures. They're like 2/2s for 2 or 3/2s or for 3 or 3/3s or whatever. But they're all in that 2 to 3 mana range, and the kicker cost or the optional additional cost is always around 2 or 3 mana. And then you get some kind of cool effect based on that. And it comes into play with a number of counters based on how many times you pay that cost. So if you pay, in this case, uh, the additional, the optional additional cost is 2 mana, 1 white and 1 other. And so if you pay that 3 times, you get this effect here that says, when you pay this cost 1 or more times, um, in this case, you put that many valor counters on it. And creatures you control get +1/+1 for each valor counter on Intrepid Adversary. So if you pay that cost 3 times, this is going to come and play with 3 +1/+1 counters. Sorry, this is going to come and play with 3 valor counters. And because you paid it 3 times, all your creatures, including this, are going to be +3/+3. So this will go from a, this will be a 8 mana 6/4 lifelink that gives all your other creatures +3/+3. And even at the bottom end, it's a 2 mana 3/1 with lifelink. I'm not going to complain. Covetous Castaway. When it dies, mill 3. Then it's got Disturbed for 5. And it becomes a 3/4 when. Oh, cool. Okay, so this is the normal version, which is a 2 mana 1/3 that when it dies, you mill 3 cards. Mill is putting the top however many cards of your library into your graveyard. And then for 5 mana, you pay its disturb cost, which is a cost that lets you cast the creature from the graveyard. And you get a 3/4 flyer that allows you to shuffle 3 cards from your graveyard back into your library. And disturb, if it dies, if it would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. But that's if the backside of it, if this side of it, would be put into a graveyard. If this side is put in, you're fine. Sacred Fire. Oh yes, the slightly smaller lightning helix that has flashback. Boop. That's an uncommon. Blood Tithe Collector. 5 mana, 3/4 flyer. Enters battlefield if an opponent. There's a lot of vampires that have if an opponent lost life this turn. Triggers. And this is a 5 mana, 3/4 flyer that makes each opponent discard a card. I think I just might refer to it for now as the vampire ability. Oh. What are you? Okay, you're fine. It's fine. Ecstatic Awakener. 1 mana, 1/1 human wizard. Pay 3 mana, sack another creature, draw a card, then transform it. Do this only once a turn. And it becomes a 4/4 demon. No abilities, but it's now a 4/4 demon. And it does its only restriction is activate only once a turn. That's gonna be pretty good. Unruly Mob. 2 mana 1/1 when one of your other creatures dies. This one gets bigger. It gets absorbed into the mob. Ritual Guardian. 3 mana 3/2. And potential lifelink if you have 3 or more creatures with different power. Well, if you've got at least 3 different powers amongst the creatures you control. So I have something that's like a 1/3, a 2/10, and a 3/4. I've got 3 different powers because I've got 1, a 2, and a 3. They could be like a 1, a 5, and an 8, or you know, a 0, a 1, and a a 0, a 3, and a 6, or whatever. As long as you've got at least 3 different numbers for power, as opposed to as in power and toughness, you're good. Snarling Wolf, the newest version of Basking Root Walla and so forth. Flip the switch. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 4, and then make a decayed zombie token. Boop. Plummet. Most of us know Plummet by now. Blow up a flyer. Pax Betrayal. Gain control of target creature till end of turn. It gains haste. If you control a wolf or a werewolf when this resolves, scry 2. Revenge of the Drowned. Target creature's owner puts it on top or bottom of their library. And then you make a Decayed Zombie token. 4 mana instant. Cool. Nice, ginormous creature you got. Where do you want to put it? No Way Out. An upgrade on Mind Rot. Same rarity, it's still common. And you get a Decayed token. A Decayed Zombie. And Immolation. I do not remember this being legal since about the time I started playing Magic, which would have been 25-ish years ago. So, I don't know how you guys did at the pre-release. Feel free to say hi. Let me know. I had fun. Um, I got a sealed deck, and I mean, most people did. And what I normally do is I try and build one deck first, and then out of my remaining cards, I take a look and go, can I feasibly, using a different color scheme, make a second deck? Sure. I went red green first. My second deck was white black. And with limited, anything that is in your card pool that you don't use in your main deck is part of your sideboard. And you can have as many basic lands as you want. So you can legally make a second deck, side out the first deck if things go bad, into a completely different second deck. So I did that. My first deck was eh. It ran most of my rares, but it just didn't run well. But when I sided into my white black deck, I had so much removal, and I think I had one rare, which was, I believe, a Champion of the Perished. A regular one. And I think that's the only rare I ran in that deck. And that thing would just overrun people. Oh, here's the Decayed Zombie token. I have to wonder how many of those there's going to be. And a pretty mountain. Ooh, full art Deserted Beach. Boop. Deserted Beach. So the regular version is $5. And this is $8.50. And I have one. And I might try and trade that into the store and see if I can get a normal one. See if they'll let me do that. I make no assumptions. Just because I work there doesn't mean they're going to let me do stuff like that. Vengeful Strangler. 2/1 can't block. When it dies, return it transformed. Under your control, attached to target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. What do you become? Strangling Gasp. Oh! Yeah, people that like stack stacks in EDH are going to enjoy something like this. It doesn't look amazing. It's a 2/1 that can't block. But when it dies, you flip it back over into this thing. Enchant creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. At the beginning of your upkeep, enchanted permanent's controller sacrifices a non-land permanent and loses 1 life. At some point, they're going to sacrifice whatever this is attached to. And you get a 2/1 in the short term. Sunset Revelry. Oh yes, the current version of Timely Reinforcements. 2 mana sorcery. If opponent's got more life, gain 4. If they've got more creatures, make 2 human tokens. If they've got more cards than you, draw a card. I am not complaining about that. Morbid Opportunist. Once a turn, whenever one or more creatures die, draw a card. 3 mana, 1/3 that can potentially draw a card, an extra card every turn. Gale Drifter, 3/2 flyer for 4, which I'm never fond of, especially since for an extra mana in Forgotten Realms, we got a 3/3 flyer for 4. The exact same cost, and when it came into play, you rolled a d20 and got some kind of, you know, boost on top of that. Jin Winseer, I think it was, or something like that. DJINN. Oh yeah, and it scried 1, 2, or 3. So you get a 3/2 flyer, but it gets disturbed and turns into a 2/2 flyer. Eh? You get a downgrade out of that, but the bonus of the backside is it gains it loses a point of power, but it gains a creature type, which can actually be relevant. Oops, that goes there. Clearing Cathars. Oh yeah, 4 mana, 3/3 comes into play. Make a human. Yeah, human tokens, 1/1, no abilities. Sungold Barrage, destroy target creature, toughness 4 or greater, which can be really relevant. Because sometimes, depending on what you're playing, it's easier to make a, it's easier to find something that's got a big butt on it uh, instead of high power. And a lot of the time, it's the same thing. Timberland Guide, the current version of Iron Shell Beetle with a relevant creature type. It's human. It's also a scout, which might be relevant for some decks. Startle. Um, Shrink a creature's power by 2 till end of turn. Make a decayed zombie. God damn it. There we go. And draw a card for 2 mana. Seems like a fair. Oh, Bramble and Armor. 2 mana. Auto equipping um, equipment. That sounds redundant. Creature gets +2/+1. And an equip cost of 4. Auto equipping is always fun. Ardent Elementalist. So, some of you may know that I recently put together a deck that is nothing but commons for Commander, including the General. I went with Joven because he had the best ability out of all the common commanders. There's 13 cards that are legal, that are common and legendary. Sorry, 13? Well, kind of. Yeah, 13. 9 of them have no abilities. That leaves 4. Prismatic Piper out of Commander Legends was created so that you could build a deck and, because Commander Legends was designed to be draftable, they needed a way to make sure that if you want to be able to play a third color, you could play a third color without much difficulty. So they made Prismatic Piper, and that's its ability. You name a color, and it counts as that, and partners with other legendary stuff or something of that nature. Um, so that leaves 3. There's Joven, there's Chandler, both which came out of Homelands, and Ramirez de Pietro, who is a legendary pirate and he's a 7 mana 4/3 first strike, I believe. And I want to say it's 2 blue and 1 black, or 2 blue and 2 black, and the rest of the mana is colorless. But yeah, it's like 3 or 4 colored mana, and I'm pretty sure it's 2 and 2 for 4/3 first strike. Eh? So that leaves Joven and Chandler, and they're basically the same thing. They are 5 mana, 2 red, 3 other, for 3/3, and they both have an activated ability that blows up artifacts. It's 3 and tap, destroy target, and Joven blows up non creature artifacts, and Chandler blows up artifact creatures. So, so I built the entire deck around that. And one of the optional cards that I put in, I've got off to the side in case I decide I want to put it in, is Anarchist. 4 mana, 2/2 common, of course, because everything in that deck is common. And comes into play, and I get a sorcery out of my graveyard and put it back in my hand. And then Modern Horizons 2 came out with Revolutionist. For an extra mana, I get an extra point of power and toughness, and I could get an instant or sorcery back. And now they have Ardent Elementalist, which is a 4 mana 2/1. It really doesn't do that very well. Comes into play, I get an instant or sorcery back, so I lose a point of toughness compared to the Anarchist, but I get the flexibility of getting an instant or sorcery back, and that's common. Vampire Interloper, reprint, 2 mana, 2/1 flyer, can't block flyers. Can't block. Mounted Dread Knight, another creature that might actually make it into that deck. It's a 5 mana 5/4 trample. Comes into play with a +1 counter if an opponent lost life this turn. And Shadow Beast Sighting, 4 mana. Oh, yeah, 4 mana, make a 4/4 token, flashback for 7. It works. It does its thing. Yeah. Sorry. Story time happens sometimes. Blame the government, you'll feel better. Another one of those. Ooh, I get an insect token. Insect tokens are pretty big. They're 3/3s, which is kind of a big deal to deal with. Another plains. And a regular version of Deserted Beach. And that, I believe I said was $5. Yeah, $5. Covetous Castaway, we already talked about that one. Borrowed Time, 3 mana. Oh, yeah, the current version of Oblivion Ring effects. 3 mana, exile target non-land permanent until Borrowed Time leaves play. Dawnheart Warden, 3 mana, 3/3 vigilance. Oh. And then its Coven ability is giving your creatures +1/+0 till end of turn once combat rolls around. Stack Awakener, did you? Gavany Trapper, 0/2. You only need a single white for this guy, ever. Because it's up in its mana cost up here. I know you can't really see that too well, sorry. But its activation cost is 2 colorless. Soul Guide Griff. Enters battlefield, exile card from a graveyard. 3 mana, 3/4. Flyer. Boop. Stuffed Bear. Keck. 2 to cast, 2 to activate. It becomes a 4/4 bear until end of turn. have to do like that. Falcon Abomination. Oh, nice. A minor upgrade on Windrake. 2-2 flyer for 3. Comes into play, you get a Decayed Zombie. Pestilent Wolf. Oh, yeah. This is the different wolf. This is the wolf that gets Death Touch till end of turn. Secrets of the Key. Oh, yeah, this guy. 1 blue, investigate, and then if you cast it from your graveyard, which costs 1 blue and 3, so 4 mana, you investigate twice. Investigate means you make a clue token, and clue tokens are pay 2 and sack that token to draw a card. So it's not bad, and tokens have synergies of their own. Siege Zombie. Pardon me. Siege Zombie is always fun. Tap 3 untapped creatures you control. Each opponent loses 1 life. And it's 2 mana for a 2-2 with a relevant creature type. And it's common. I love that. Yeah, you see how excited I get over commons. Stone Vitality. Oh man. Okay, so for 2 mana, as an instant, creature gets +3/+1 till end of turn. If it's your turn, the creature gets trample. If it's not your turn, it gets first strike instead. Wow. And then Hobbling Zombie. 2-2 zombie with Death Touch. That when it dies, again, you get a Decayed Zombie. Zombie, 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 zombie. Yeah, okay. That's a thing. That'll be a thing for a lot of people. Know why? Because it's in their head. I really should put these elsewhere. Oh yeah, that's what one of the clue tokens in the set looks like. Ooh, I got my first foil. Oh, and I got my first forest from the box. Pretty lands are pretty. Unfortunately, because they are black and white. It's easy to get them mixed up with each other. So yeah, Storm Skrillex. 1 blue, 1 red, and 3 for a 2/4 flyer. Your instants and sorceries cost 1 less to cast. Whenever you cast one of those types, this gets +2/+0 till end of turn. And that's a foil. Vadric Astral Archmage. 1 blue, 1 red, 1 other, 1/2. If it's neither day nor night, it becomes day. Instant and sorcery spells cost X less to cast, where X is Vadric's power. And then whenever it switches between day and night, he gets bigger. Vadric Astral Archmage. This guy. Currently $2. Oh yeah. I'm aware this says we have some in stock. We're not going to be able to actually we can't actually ship them out until the set's released, which today is Tuesday. Tuesday the 21st. So it will be Wednesday, Thursday. So 2 more days, and then the following day, Friday morning. Friday we'll be able to start shipping them out. Devoted Graph Keeper. 2 mana, 2/1. Okay, this is a weird guy. So, comes into play, you mill 2 cards. Whenever you cast a spell from your graveyard, tap target creature you don't control. And then it's got Disturbed, and it becomes its Disturbed cost is only 1 more than its mana cost. It costs 2, you get a 2/1. So 1 blue, 1 white. And then for 1 blue, 1 white, and 1, you get a 3/1 flyer that can only block flyers. And it looks like that. And again, it's disturbed if it goes in the graveyard from anywhere. Exile it instead. Oh, you go. Yeah. Vampire Socialite. 2 mana, 2/2. 1 red and 1 black. Menace. Enters battlefield. If an opponent lost life this turn, put a +1 counter on each vampire you control. And as long as an opponent has lost life this turn, each other vampire you control enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter. So she's gonna make all your vampires really big, really fast. Moon Silver Key, 2 mana artifact, pay 1, tap and sack. Search for a artifact card with a mana ability. Keep in mind, mana abilities are abilities that produce mana, even if it's just converting mana from one type to another, whatever. Is the end result of it mana? Yes, it's probably a mana ability. Or a basic land, reveal it, put it in your hand, and shuffle. Mana fixing for decks that have a lot of trouble with that. Harvesttide Infiltrator, 3/2 trample for 3, which is nice on its day bound side, and when it's night, it's a 4/4 trample. Here is day, here is night. And basically, day bound and night bound are basically, um, if it's day, anything that's got day bound or night bound will come into play on the day side. If it's night, they'll come into play on the night side. So that if it's already night, you technically you cast it on its day side, but it resolves as it's when it goes to resolve, when it's coming into play, it enters as the night side. So it doesn't come into play and then transform. It comes into play already turned over. And then stuff that cares about the day-night cycle. If you cast no spells on your own turn, on the next player's turn, it becomes night. And if you cast 2 spells on your turn, on the next player's turn, it will become day. and if you and it doesn't matter who casts any other spells. It doesn't matter. You could cast 5 spells on your opponent's turn and it won't make any difference. Did they cast 0 spells or did they cast 2 or more spells? Then it might change whether it's day or night. Hedge Witch's Mask. 1 mana equipment. Equip costs a 2. Equip creature gets +1/+1. Can't be blocked by creatures power 4 or greater. That is an interesting looking mask. Path to the Festival. Search for a basic land card, put in play tap. Then if you've got 3 or more basic land types, scry 1, and it's got a flashback of 5. That's gonna be cool. If for no other reason than it's search for land, put in play, and it's got flashback. That's not something you see much of. The current reprint of Duress, it's gonna have really, really weird. That is, the Voldaren torture pits are so expansive that prisoners have a nasty tendency to be forgotten for years. Wow, and you are chained up hardcore. And Voldaren, those are vampires. So, yeah, that is somebody chained up. Stormrider Spirit. Your typical 3/3 flash flying for 5. Bounding Wolf, 3/2 Flash Reach. Another way for green to deal with flying creatures. I might run this. 2 mana, 2/2. Pay 4. Target creature can't block this turn. That's adorable. Morcrit Behemoth, 7/6 Menace for 5, and either an additional 2 mana. Oops. Or sacking a creature. 7/6 Menace for 7 is nothing to sneeze at. And Brimstone Vandal. 2/3 with Menace for 3. If it's not day or night yet, it becomes day. And then whenever it switches over, deals 1 damage to each opponent. Yes, I know. I'm going through all the cards at this point. And once I've got to a point where, hey, I've run out of this, these cards off enough, I can skip them. This is what your day-night token looks like. That's the day side. That's the night side. And it looks cool AF. And got a mountain. Yeah, these cool black and white basic lands. I'm going to be I'd only put them realistically, I'd only put them in monocolored decks because it is so easy to mix them up at this point. Overgrown farmland, regular version, foil. $6. Not bad. Again, keep in mind, this is Canadian currency. If you are from somewhere that is not Canada, there's this little thing down here in the bottom left of the website, and you can just click on that, and it will change between Canadian, US, Euro, the British pound, or the Australian dollar. And another rare in this pack, because that's a foil, so that takes a slot of one of the commons. And I get a Curse of Shaken Faith, which will be fine. 2 mana, Curse. Whenever enchant player casts a spell other than the first one they cast each turn, it deals 2 damage to them. I don't expect that to be great, but Shaken Faith. Yeah, it's a buck and change. Again, I don't expect that to be great, but it's fine. Chaplain of Alms. Wow. Okay, so 1 mana for a 1/1 with first strike. Ward 1, which means if somebody else tries to target it, counter whatever they're trying to target it with, unless they pay an extra mana. And the disturb cost of 4, which gives them a 2/1 flying first strike, and each creature you control has got Ward 1. This is one heck of a role player. That thing is going to do work at the very least in smaller formats like sealed and standard. That's going to do work. Cool. Stormkirk Bloodchief. Oh, she's okay. 3 mana 2/2 with the typical vampire trigger. +1/+1 counter on target vampire you control, which means you cast this, say, after combat, after your opponent's already taken damage. You've got a 3 mana 3/3, and if they lose life again the next turn, well, no, it gets bigger, or something else gets bigger. Dryad's Revival. a regrowth for an extra mana, but it has flashback. So 3 mana normally to get a card back, any card back from your graveyard. 5 to cast it again from your graveyard. Morning Patrol. 3 mana, 2/3 Vigilance, and Disturb turns into a 2/1 Flying Vigilance for 4. Eh? I think this is one I was talking. This might be one I was talking about earlier. That it's no. Uh, yeah. Whoops. You're a common. You go there. Search Party Captain. 4 mana, 2/2. Costs 1 less to cast for each creature you attacked with this turn. So if you attack with 3 creatures, it's 1 mana. Enters battlefield, draw a card. Nice, plain and simple. You attack with 1 creature. He's a 3 mana 2/2 cantrip. Silverbolt. 1 to cast. 3 tap and sack. 3 damage to target creature. If Werewolf is dealt damage to this way, just destroy it. Because it's a bolt made out of silver. And, werewolves don't like silver, apparently. Shipwreck Sifters enters battlefield. Loot. Whenever you discard a spirit card or a creature with Disturb, put a +1/+1 counter on these guys. 2 mana for 1/2 that can actually get kind of big. And actually, if you discard a card with Disturb, intending to cast it in another turn or two, that's already going to be a 2 mana 2/3. Tapping at the window. 2 mana, sorcery. Top 3 cards of your library. Reveal a creature from among them. Put it into your hand. Put the rest in your graveyard. And flashback for 3. Defenestrate. So it's murder, except it's got a restriction that it can't hit flyers. Because why? Defenestrate. You're getting thrown out a window. Immolation again. Nice. Daragraph Horde. 5 mana, 3/4. Enters the battlefield. Make 2 decayed zombies. When you do, exile up to 2 cards from graveyards. That could be like 7 mana. Sorry, 7 power for 5 mana. And exiling 2 cards from graveyards, which can do a fair bit in a limited format. Oh yes. Falconwrath Perforator. 2 mana, 2/1. And when she attacks, 1 damage to defending player. Boop. I remember seeing somewhere, I think it's a equipment that's like, if your creature is like 3 power or less, the creature it's equipped to is unblockable. So you throw that on the Perforator, and you are getting through every turn. Ooh. I have the emblem for Renin 7 that literally just says you have no maximum hand size. I got another Plains. Got a Foil Thermo Alchemist, which is a reprint. 0/3 Defender. Tap for a damage to each opponent. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, untap it. Was printed at common. This is now an uncommon. Oh, Galvanic Iteration. What are you? You copy spells. Galvanic Iteration. Iteration. Dollar rare. QQ. 1 blue, 1 red. When you cast your next instant or sorcery this turn, copy it, and you can choose new copies for it. Choose new targets for it. and an extra mana for flashback. Am I seriously looking at? Wow. One, two, three. Almost every single one of, well, about 2/3 of my rares so far have been um, not monocolored. Overwhelmed Alchemist. 3 mana, 3/2, enters battlefield loot, disturb for 4 to become a 2/1 flyer when it attacks loot. It's fine. Ghoulish Procession. 2 mana enchantment. Whenever one or more non-token creatures die, make a decayed zombie token once a turn. For 2 mana, you could get a decayed token every turn. Join the dance. 2 mana, 2/1/1 humans, flashback for 5. Morning Patrol. I think, yeah, think I did that one already. The Griff, Soul Guide Griff I did. Bounding Wolf I did. Falcon Abomination. Yep, that's the upgrade Windrake. Path to the Festival I did. Behemoth. More Crypt Behemoth I did. Perforator I just did. Locked in the Cemetery. 2 mana enchant creature. Enters battlefield if there's 5 or more cards in your graveyard. Tap enchant creature. And then that creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Or during its controller's untap step. So, if it's tapped down, unless they have another way to untap it, other than, hey, by the way, start of my turn, untap my stuff, they're not getting it back. And Siege Zombie. Love that guy. That guy's amazing. I mean, again, I play Pauper. Commons excite me because of that. One of them. Another Day-Night token. An island. I don't remember if I've shown you the island. Here you go. Lord of the Forsaken. What are you? Lord of the Forsaken. 6 and change. Okay. 6 mana, 6/6 flying trample. Pay a black and sack another creature. Target player mills 3 cards. Pay a life to get 1 colorless mana. Spend this mana only to cast spells from cast a spell from your graveyard. So, in theory, you're sacking creatures to mill yourself, and then paying life to be able to cast the stuff that's ended up in your graveyard. So stuff with Disturbed, or stuff with Flashback, etc., etc. Mysterious Tome. 3 mana. Oh yeah, this thing. 1 blue, 2 other for an artifact. 2 tap, draw a card, transform it, which transforms into Chilling Chronicle. 1 tap, tap target non-land permanent, then transform it back. So you use it the first time you like when you cast it, it's on this side, and then you then you draw a card and it transforms into this side, and then you use that to tap something and it turns into this, and boop 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 boop. Do keep in mind that when you transform something, it doesn't change whether the card is tapped or not, any counters are on it, anything like that. It just changes what side is face up. Purifying Dragon. 5 mana, 4/3 flyer. When it attacks, 1 damage to target creature defending player controls. If it's a zombie, deals 2 damage, because 2 damage is going to be enough to kill a lot of different zombies. Like, especially if they're decayed. Ritual of Hope. Creatures you get. Oh. Oh, yeah, this guy is nice. 1 white, 1 other instant. Creatures you control get +1/+1 till end of turn. That sounds normal. If And it's got Coven, so 3 or more different power. Creatures you control get +2/+1 instead. They get an extra point of power. Boop. That thing is going to be silly. Shady Traveler. Pretty version. 2/3 menace, Daybound turns into a 4/4 menace with a Nightbound. So there's the Daybound side, and there's the Nightbound. Wow, that thing is. I mean, I'm not unhappy for either side. A 2/3 menace for 3 is still fine. Ritual Guardian, we did you. Gavney's Silversmith, 4 mana, 2/3. Enters the battlefield, put a +1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. So in theory, he can be one of them. Shipwreck Sifters. Yep, that's the one where you discard spirits to make it bigger. Silver Bolt, because let's blow up werewolves. Snarling Wolf. Immolation. Candlegrove Witch. Yeah, that's the one that gets flying if you've got Coven. No Way Out, that's the upgrade. Mind Rot. Raise the Effigy. Raise R-A-Z-E. Yes, I said Z, deal with it. 1 red instant. Choose 1. Destroy target artifact, or target attacking creature gets +2/+2 till end of turn. 1 red, destroy target artifact. Shatter is not good anymore. Here's the thing. Shatter's kinda, sorta supposed to be balanced. Kinda. The problem is you also have Disenchant floating around, or Naturalize, depending on the relevant format at the time. And so I can pay, 2 mana to blow up a artifact, or I can pay 2 mana to blow up an artifact or enchantment. Which would you do? And I know they've had 1 red for a sorcery to blow up an artifact, and that was actually decent. This gives you 1 red instant. I think they've done that once before. I know there was one where it was an artifact creature. But this is also now 1 red, destroy target artifact, or pump up an attacker. Seems fine. Ooh, welcome to Arena. Is there anything interesting? Nope, this is advertising. This is just nothing but advertising. It's basic land. Augur of Autumn. Are you? No, you're not. This is a card a few people have been talking about. Saffron Olive over at MTG Goldfish. He and the Asian Avenger, Krim. They did a video last week, I think it was, about the top, 10 best cards from the set in Standard, and I believe this was in the top 5. It may have been top 1. I know it was in the top 10 for sure, but I believe it was in the top 5. 3 mana, 2/3. Load the top card of your library at any time, which is already a lot because, then you can decide whether or not you want to spend a spell or an ability on things like Scry, or, do I crack my Evolving Wilds or what have you now to shuffle the top of my deck. And so that in of itself already does a lot. You may play lands from the top of your library. Cool. top card of my deck is library. I'll play that instead of playing any lands that are in my hand. Still only restricted to one land drop a turn unless something gives you more, but you can play it from the top of your deck instead of playing it from your hand. Coven. You can cast creature spells off the top of your deck. What? I guess I don't need to show you my rares. I just realized that. But that's a $9 card, so I'm not unhappy about that. Fangblade Brigand. 3/4 with fire breathing. That also gives double strike and daybound, which becomes the Fangblade Eviscerator, which is okay. So, Dayside. +1/+0 and first strike till end of turn for 2 mana on a splashable 4 mana 3/4, which is pretty good. Nightside. It's a 4/5. It's got the same pump ability, but then for 5 mana, creatures you control get +2/+0 till end of turn. Okay, that's going to be dangerous. Vodaran Ambusher. Enters battlefield if opponent lost life this turn, deals X damage to up to one target creature or planeswalker, where X is number of vampires you control. Kind of like Grey Merchant of Asphodel, or maybe Mogus of Mogus' Fanatic is a better analogy. But this hits creatures or planeswalkers, and it's based on vampires rather than devotion. 3 mana 2/2. Flavor text. Gotcha! He's an ambusher, of course. Vivisection. Oh, people, they keep trying to do this. They keep trying to do this, and no. 4 mana, 4 mana for sorcery. Additional cost to cast it, sack a creature. Draw 3 cards. Now, in this set, sacking a creature is not the worst. It actually does things, but yeah. I think that should have been like 3 mana or something instead. Gildrifter. We already did that one. Flare of Faith. 2 mana, instant. Give a creature +2/+2 till end of turn. If it's human, it gets +3/+3 and indestructible. Component Collector. Homunculus. 3 mana, 1/4. Oh my god. What are you? So if it's not day or night, it becomes day. And then, whenever it swaps between the two, tap or untap target non-land permanent. Jack-o'-lantern. Weird card. Oh yeah, the Collector and the Gildrifter go here. Jack-o'-lantern. 1 to cast. 1 tap and sack. Exile 1 card from a graveyard. Draw a card. Pay 1 and exile it from the graveyard. Get a mana of any color. Weird mana fixing. And targeted graveyard removal. I'm going to exile that. Not everything, just that. Tapping at the window. I think we did that one already. Flip the switch. We did that already. Eccentric from 3 mana, 2/3, enters battlefield, mill 3, then you can return a land card from your graveyard to your hand. Interesting. Olivia's Midnight Ambush. 2 mana instant. Target creature gets -2/-2 till end of turn. If it's night, it gets -13 till end of turn instead. And you thought you were almost finished with that ritual, weren't you, darling? How very rude of me. To make it up to you, I'll send you an invitation to my wedding. Olivia. Oh dear. Brimstone Vandal, we did that one. Revenge of the Drowned, we did that one. Okay, now I can start picking up Steam a little bit. Well, I mean, I have Steam. I don't have Origin or Epic Games, but womp womp. Double face card. Ooh, 4/4 Beast token. Roar. And Forest. And Geist Flame Reservoir. Interesting. What are you? Geist Flame Reservoir. That thing. Dollar rare. QQ. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, put a charge counter on it. It's 3 to cast initially. Pay to tap and remove any number of counters on it. Deals that much damage to any target. Pay 2 and tap. Exile the top card of your library. You can play that card this turn. That's gonna be fun. Death Bonnet Sprout. Oh yeah. I mean, you can see it on the screen here. Up. Whoops. That way. That way. I'll get there eventually. Death Bonnet Sprout. 1 green for 1/1. Beginning of your upkeep, mill a card. Then if there's 3 or more creatures in your graveyard, transform it. And it transforms into a 3/3 that allows you to exile cards from your graveyard. And if it was a creature card, this gets a +1/+1 counter. So that's its cute side. That's its beefy side. Faithful Mending. 1 blue, 1 white. Instant. Gain 2 life, draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards. Flashback. 1 blue, 1 white, 1 other. So Faithless Looting for an that's a little harder to cast and a little harder to flash back. Whoops. But also gains you life. Rise of the Ants. This is where the insect tokens come in. 6 mana, you get 2 of them and 2 life. They're 3/3 insect tokens. Flashback for 2 green +6. Boop. I mean, it's fine. Bird Admirer, we did do. That's just normal one. Search Party Captain, did you? Candle Trap. 1 white, enchant creature. Enchant creature has Defender. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt by it. So it can't attack, and it won't usefully deal combat damage. Or fight, or. Well, no. Just. Fight is still fine. Pay 1 white and 2 other, and sacrifice the trap to exile the creature. To exile that creature, but that's only if you've got Coven. Pax Betrayal. Did you? Plummet. Did you? Oh yeah, here's what the candle trap looks like. Apparently, werewolf does not like being caught in that. Larder zombie. 1 white. Or sorry, 1 blue for a 1/3 zombie with Defender. Tap 3 untapped creatures you control. Look at the top card of your library. You can put it into your graveyard. Huh. Candlelit Cavalry. 5 mana for 5/5. And if you have Coven at the beginning of combat, it gets trampled till end of turn. Dargraph Horde, we talked about already. Electric Revelation, 3 mana for a instant. Additional cost, discard a card, draw 2 cards. Flashes back for 1 more mana. That's gonna be fun. And Defenestrate, kicked out the window. Whee! Yes, I said whee! Deal with it. Alright. Next pack. One of those. Another day night card. Woo. And a pretty swamp, because swamps are pretty. What are you? Graveyard trespasser. Okay. Before I get too far, how much are you? Graveyard trespasser. Noro. Boop. Oh, cute. Worth slightly more than some of the other rares, which isn't saying much. 3 mana, 3/3, ward, discard card. So if they want to target it and not have it get countered, they have to discard an extra card. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, exile up to one target card from a graveyard. If that was a creature card, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. And it's got day bound, so its night side is. See, that's the day. Sorry, that's the day side. The night side is a 4/4, again, ward to discard card. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, exile up to 2 target cards from graveyards. For each creature card, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So that's the day side. That's the night side. I think that'll actually end up being worth more in the long run. But I don't know. It's again the worst it is a 3 mana 3/3 with ward of discarding a card, which is pretty good. Foul play. 1 black, 1 other sorcery. Destroy target creature with power 2 or less. Investigate. Boop. Rite of Oblivion. 1 white, 1 black sorcery. Additional cost to cast. Sack a non-land permanent. Exile target non-land permanent. Flashback. 1 black, 1 white, and 2. I think I'm going to put that into Kalia. I have a Kalia the Vast EDH deck, and that is going to end up being really good. Oh no, I have to sack, an. Okay, I can't sack an XX. Excuse me, I can't sacrifice an X. Wow. I can't sacrifice an excess land. But there are going to be things that are going to be excess that I can sacrifice. Maybe I've got 6 creatures on the board, or maybe I want to put Kalia back in the command zone. So I sacrifice Kalia. Because maybe somebody turned around and made her into a treasure token with Minima's containment. Cheers. Then I can recast her. Obsessive Astronomer. Astronomer? Astronomer. 2 mana, 2/2. If it's not day or night, it's now day. Um, when it swaps between day and night, discard up to 2 cards, and then draw that many cards. Sleep. I can sleep when I'm dead. Crazy old lady. Or crazy old man. One or the other. Or maybe both. Actually, now that I'm looking at him, looks a little bit like, oh, good lord. Was his name Max? From The Princess Bride. The guy that brought Wesley back to life. Yeah. Bait Hook Angler, 2 mana, 2/1, becomes a 1/2 flyer. It's fine. And its disturb cost is also 2. So it goes from a 2/1 to a 1/2 flyer. And both sides cost 2. It's fine. Homestead Courage. Put +1 counter on target creature you control. It gains vigilance till end of turn. Flashback of 1. Nice. Just because it's simple doesn't mean it's bad. Kethar Commando. I was talking about this card in Saffron Olive's MTG Goldfish chat earlier today. I think this is the best Blade of the Sixth Pride card there is, which is a 1 white, 1 other for a 3/1. So if you're looking at that, 2 mana for a 3/1. This one has got Flash and pay 1 and sack it to destroy target artifact or enchantment. And that is a really, really powerful card at common. That's just going to end up doing so much. Crossroads Candleguide. 4 mana, 3/4 artifact creature. Comes into play, exile card from a graveyard. Pay 2 to filter mana. This is a mana ability because it says add 1 mana of any color. It's not that it costs mana to activate, it's the ability produces mana. Otherworldly Gaze. Yeah, I think we did that one already. Harvesttide Sentry. 1 green, 1 other for a 3/1. If you've got Coven, it can't be blocked by smaller creatures. Boop. Consider this. 1 blue, instant. Look at the top card of your library. You can put that card in your graveyard. Draw a card. So basically, surveil 1 and draw a card. As an instant. Festival Crasher. The next coming of Kiln Fiend. Or the next version of Kiln Fiend, I should say. 2 mana for 1/3. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, +2/+0 till end of turn. Crawl from the Cellar. 1 black. Raise dead, put a +1 counter on and up to 1 target zombie you control, and then flashback for 4. It's only raised dead, it's not, reanimation. But it's still fine. Sometimes getting it in your hand is what you need. Oh yes, and then Lightning Bolt, I believe they've been calling this. Moonrager's Slash. 1 red, 2 other instant. 3 damage to any target. Costs 2 less to cast if it's night. Which means, if it's nighttime, you get as a Lightning Bolt. 1 mana, 3 damage, a target. Rawr. Yeah. Alright. One of those. Bird token. 1/1 flyer can only block flyers. Bird. Has everybody heard about the bird? Do you know the bird is the word? Planes. Angel Fire Ignition. I know you. You better be worth something. Ignition. Are you kidding? Why are you only $1? 1 white, 1 red, 1 other. Sorcery. 2/+1 counters on target creature. It gains Vigilance, Trample, Lifelink, Indestructible, and Haste until end of turn. Hold the phone. AKROM. Chroma Angel of Wrath. So it doesn't gain flying. It gains Vigilance, Trample, Hate. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, it doesn't gain flying, it doesn't get first strike. Vigilance, Trample, Haste. And rather than protection, it gets Indestructible. So 3, 3, 5, So if you've got a 5 mana 4/4 flying first strike in some way, shape, or form or another, Angel Fire Ignition basically finishes turning it into a chroma. And then you can pay an extra mana over its regular cost to flash it back and do it again to something else. That's going to be stupid. Stupid good, that is. Hound Tamer, 3 mana, 3/3 with trample. God, back in the day when I started playing, you wanted a 3/3 trample, you had to pay 4 mana, and we liked it. Yeah, whatever. War Mammoth, if you're curious. And then you can pay 1 green and 3 other to put +1 counter on target creature, and it flips into a 4/4 trample that gives all your wolves and werewolves trample, and has the same ability to pump it, and it turns into that. Wow, it goes from Hound Tamer to Untamed Pup. That turned the earth. 1 green instant. Choose up to 3 target cards in graveyards. The owners of those cards shuffles them into their libraries. You gain 2 life. Flashback 2 mana. Boop. Nothing fancy. And if it somehow gets milled, you can still cast it from there. Rock Quail Creeper. 1 blue, 1 green, 2/2. Tap for 1 mana of any color. Tap for 2 mana of any one color. Spend only to cast spells from a graveyard. Pay a green, a blue, tap, and exile the creeper. Return target card with flashback you own from exile to your hand. What? So this lets you make mana to cast stuff that has flashback to cast it normally. Makes extra mana so you can cast it from your graveyard. And then you can exile this to get that card with flashback back to your hand. So you can do it all over again. What? Harvesttide Infiltrator. 3 mana, 3/2, trample, daybound, becomes a 4/4 trample, nightbound. Nothing fancy. Still decent. Blessed Defiance. 1 white instant. Target creature you control gets +2/+0 and lifelink till end of turn. And when it dies, you get a spirit token. Hedge Witch's Mask. Famished Foragers. 1 red, 3 other, 4/3. Enters the battlefield. So, Vampire Trigger. Add triple red. Then pay 1 red and 2 other and discard a card to draw a card. So if an opponent lost life this turn, in theory, you could pay 4, drop this in a play, get a 4/3, use the mana, discard an extra card, and draw a new card in a single turn. That sounds like a lot for 4 mana. How's the hunt? 3 mana with flash, enters battlefield if enchant creature is a wolf or werewolf, untap that creature. Give a +2/+2, give enchant creature +2/+2 in vigilance. Devious Cover Up, reprint. 4 mana, counter target spell. If that spell's countered, exile it instead of putting it into the graveyard, and then you may shuffle up to 4 target cards from your graveyard into your library. You really want to annoy people? You use that as your win condition. Why? Because you don't have to worry about decking, because you're going to keep shuffling Devious Cover-Ups back into your deck. Yeah. Blood Pact. Target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. 3 mana. Instant. Might be replacing one of the cards in my Pauper deck. I have a Pauper Mono Black Burn deck. That may end up replacing a card that I'm not sure might be sorcery. If it is, I'm putting that in instead. Oh yeah, Stun Heart Rejuvenator. Um, I believe it's basically a reprint of Centaur Nurturer. 4 mana, 2/4 comes into play. Draw, gain 3 life, and then tap for mana of any color. But this is pretty art. Burn the Accursed! 5 mana, 5 damage to target creature, and 2/2 its controller. If the creature would die, exile it instead. Yeah, Red's getting a reasonable amount of that lately. Novice Occultist. So 2 mana for 1/2. When she dies, draw a card and lose 1 life. Boop. Let's go with this one. So, amusingly, there's still commons I haven't come across yet. Uh, Vampire Token. 3/2 trample lifelink. Sorry, 3/1 trample lifelink and haste. Whoa. Island. Memory Deluge. The current dig 3 time effect. Memory Deluge. 450. So, for 4 mana, instant. Look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the amount of mana that you spent to cast this thing. Put 2 in your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Flashback for 7. So for 4 mana, you look at the top 4, put 2 in your hand and the other 2 on the bottom. And then when you flash it back for 7, you're looking at the top 7 cards, putting 2 in and the other 5 on the bottom. That's going to be fun. Bereaved Survivor. What do you do? You're a 3 mana 2/1. Whenever another creature you control dies, transform it into a 3/2 that whenever it attacks, return target creature card with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped and attacking. So it starts off as a pretty unexciting creature, but if you've got a way, say, Viscera Seer or I guess Woe Striders rotate out, but any way to sack creatures, especially if the sacking is free, like Viscera Seer is. You sack anything, and then it'll flip back over and become a 3/2 that when it attacks, you start reanimating your small creatures out of your graveyard. Sorry, your cheap creatures out of your graveyard. Not necessarily small. Some of them can actually get quite big. Um, wow. If you have, oh, what's it called? I forget what it's called, but it's like a one white, one other, 1/2, that stops abilities of creatures entering the battlefield from triggering. And if you've got that in play, you reanimate something crazy like Phyrexian Dreadnought, which is a 1 mana 12/12 trample. That when it comes in play, you sack 12 power worth of creatures. But it's a come and play triggered ability, and so therefore it won't. Hushbringer? Might be Hushbringer. I think it's Hushbringer. In case you're wondering what I keep grabbing all this time, I have a cell phone beside me. Surprise, surprise. Hushbringer also has lifelink. Creatures entering the battlefield or dying don't cause abilities to trigger. And on it is a app called MTG Familiar, and I find that incredibly useful for looking up card information. Loyal Griff. Oh, three. So Loyal Griff is basically a white Windrake, but better because A, it's got flash as well as flying, and being a 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, you may return another creature you control to its owner's hand. Phantom Carriage. Okay, this looks a little silly. Okay, it looks a lot silly. 6 mana for 4/4 flyer, which, I mean, slightly worse than Air Elemental, but only by 1 mana. But enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a card with flashback or disturbed, put it in your graveyard, then shuffle. Okay. So for 1 extra mana over Air Elemental, I dig out a card from my deck that wants to be cast from my graveyard. That wants to be cast from my graveyard. And I put it in my graveyard. Seems fine. What are you looking at? Drop frame 0. Nice. Guild Drifter, we did you. Cathar Commando, we did you. Flare of Faith, we did you. Stormrider Spirit, we did you. Path to the Festival, we did you. Silverbolt, we did you. Raise the Effigy, I spent a little time talking about that. Lock in the Cemetery, we did you. Bat Whisper. 4 mana, 4/2 with the Vampire trigger. Of making a 1/1 bat token. Boop. That's kind of neat. Huh. Lambholt Harrier. Oh yeah, that guy. It's a 2/2. What was it? 2/2 for 2? Yep. Pay 4 and target creature can't block this turn. I'm kind of surprised how good we're getting our 2/2s now. Like we're getting a 2/2 for 2 pretty much everywhere. Sorry about this. There's a... Oh, seems fine. Steam seems to be acting weird. Shrug. Speaking of wolf, wolf token! Ow! Oh god, what was it called? Fearless Pup? That was its flavor text. Swamp! Oh! Okay. 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 So this is the thing that just happened. Ren and 7. Borderless. $55. Huzzah! And I even have the token thingy for it. Okay. You gotta go to a sleeve. You gotta go to a sleeve now. Are you a... You're a reasonable enough sleeve. Just out of curiosity. I mean, obviously you're not, and I don't expect you to be. If you happen to be foil, you're 114. Good to know. uh, Burly Breaker, 5 mana, 6/5, Ward 1. That becomes a 8/7 with Ward 3. pretty good beat stick for green. I mean, that's what green gets, but still, pretty good beat stick for green. Ghoulish Procession. We did you already. Audric's Outrider. One white, three other for 2/4. When it or another creature you control dies, put a +1 counter on target creature you control. Wow. Terms like Safe Route and Clear District are a source of dark humor to the Cathars who patrol the ruins of Thraben. Boop. Yeah, you want something that's got a lot of sacking. Shady Traveler. One black, two other for 2/3 menace. That turns into a 4/4 menace. I think we did you already. The stranger spoke to no one, and the townspeople gladly returned the favor. Tomorrow a new village and new victims. Boop. Oh, you're common. Candle Trap. Did you. Timberland Guide. Did you. Falcon Abomination. Did you. Bounding Wolf. Jack-o'-lantern. Perforators, so 3 perforators at least. I've got the Arrogant Outlaw, I got the Elementalist, and I got the Behemoth. I am so far not unhappy that Borderless Renin 7, and like I said, I have the token form, or the emblem form, which is an amazing emblem, but I have it, which, well, there we go. Island. Okay. So when the original Innistrad was out, Ludovic Necrogenius. There is a card called Ludovic's Test Subject, and I just kept calling it Ludicrous Test Subject. Here he is as a Necrogenius for $1.50. One black, one blue for a 2/3. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, mill a card. Then pay 2 black, 2 blue, plus X, and exile X creature cards from your graveyard. Transform it, X can't be 0, activate only as a sorcery. Becomes Olag Ludovic's Hubris. Oh dear. You look like you try to be some kind of cross between a Sphinx and I have no idea what the heck you consist of. As it transforms into Olag, it becomes a copy of target creature exiled with it, except its name is Olag Ludovic's Hubris. It's 4/4 and it's blue and black zombie in addition to its other colors and types. Put a number of +1 counters on Olag equal to the number of creature cards exiled with it. So that's the normal version up there. That's the weird shenanigans that becomes. Yeah, weird. Fading Hope. Unsummon that if you're unsummoning something with mana value 3 or less, scry one. Boop. Thermo Alchemist. Unnatural Moonrise. One green, one green, one red. Sorcery. First 3 words. It becomes night. Until end of turn, target creature gets +1/+0 and trample until end of turn. Or until end of turn, it gets +1/+0 and gains trample. And whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. And then flashback for an extra 2 mana. Tireless Hauler. 4/5 vigilance with Daybound, which becomes a 6/6, and pretty art is pretty. Man, I love the alt art that they're using for some of these cards nowadays. Clearing Cathars makes a human. We did Homestead Courage. We did the Bramble Armor. Startle we did. Stuffed Bear we did. Rar. Burn the Accursed we did. Vampire Interloper we did. Uh, Stolen Vitality we did. And Eaten Alive we've not done, I don't believe. 1 black sorcery. Additional cost to cast it. Sack a creature or pay 1 black plus 3. So you can cast it for 5, or you can cast it for a black and a creature. Exile target creature or planeswalker. There's a lot of variants of that kind of card that just destroy it. Exiling it is kind of a big deal. What do we got here? Another one of you. An elemental token. A swamp. I got a foil morning patrol, which I believe I've done. Yeah, I've done that one already. It looks like this guy. Tainted adversary. I don't remember seeing you. Oh, you're You're from the adversary cycle. Tainted adversary. Tainted love. Tainted. That's a $10 card. Okay, so this guy you have to pay. It's 2 to cast, and then 3 every time you want to. 3 for the triggered ability, any number of times. Put that many +1/+1 counters on it. Then put twice that many decayed zombies into play. So if you kick it, say twice, well, I shouldn't keep saying kicker, but it's the closest analogy. It's, as I said it before, kicker is when you cast it, this is when it comes into play. But people will refer to it as a kicker cost. But if you do that twice, you make twice that many, so 2 times 2, you'll make 4 decayed zombies. And that's a $10 card. I'm not unhappy about that one. Village Watch, 5 mana for a 4/3 with haste. That turns into a 5/4 that gives your wolves and werewolves haste. Boop into boop. Ding? I hear a ding. What did I hear? I heard a ding. What are you? I don't know. Something just happened, and I don't know what it was. um, I will have to find that out. Ice, was that you? Uh, Numbleghast Intruder, 3 mana, 2/1 flash flying. Oh, enters battlefield, make a creature, -2/-0 till end of turn. Necrosynthesis, what are you? I'm sorry I keep going through all the uncommons and commons, but again, the set's not out yet. I've barely touched it. I basically did the sealed at the pre-release, and that was it. So this is my first anything with this, apart from looking at spoilers. Um, so I'm going through a lot of the smaller rarity stuff because I want to know. Necrosynthesis, 2 mana enchant creature. Enchant creature has whenever another creature dies, put +1/+1 counter on this, and then when this dies, look at the top X cards of your library where X is its power. Put one in your hand and the rest on the bottom and it'll random. Okay, so that can get kind of huge kind of fast and theoretically tutor you up to something. Angler, we did you. Cathar Commando, we did you. Jack-o'-lantern, we did you. Component Collector, I remember looking at you and you look weird. Larder Zombie, I looked at. Snarling Wolf, we did. Eaten Alive, we did. We just did. Neonates Rush. 3 mana instant, 1 to cast if you control a vampire, 1 damage to target creature, and 1 to its controller. Draw a card. Cool. Doesn't sound amazing, but it's like 2 mana. The worst it's gonna do is draw a card and deal an extra damage somewhere. Crawl from the cellar we did. Alright. Next pack. One of you. You are a decayed zombie. You are a forest. You are a foil shadow beast sighting. You go there. Willowgeist. And I swear, people that watch Critical Role are going to start calling it Widowgast. You are regular. Yeah, you're $3. It's not bad. 1 for trample for 1. Whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard, put a +1 counter on this guy. When it dies, gain life equal to its power. Wow! That's not going to take long to make really good. Spellrune Painter. Cast an instant or sorcery, +1 till end of turn. Did we do you already? No, we didn't. 3 mana for 2/3. Instant or sorcery gets +1/+1 till end of turn. Daybound. Flips into a 3/4. Instant or sorcery gets +2/+2 till end of turn. Nice. Flesh Taker. 1 white, 1 black. Whenever you sack another creature, gain 1 life. It's a 2/2, by the way. Gain a life and scry 1. Pay 1, sack another creature. This gets +2/+2 till end of turn. And now this gives you an outlet for. Oh, good lord, what was that card I was talking about? The one where you sack creatures. You can sack a creature every turn. Ghoulish Procession. There we go. So that can combo with Ghoulish Procession so that you make zombies every turn. Gain life and scry. Field of Ruin comes back. Woo. People were so annoyed about that Book of Exalted Deeds combo. And the fact that when rotation happens, you know, how are we going to deal with Book of Exalted Deeds plus Faceless Haven? And Field of Ruin comes back and blows up a non-basic land so it can blow up Faceless Haven, and suddenly now they don't have the infinite win available anymore. Morning Patrol we did. Gavany Silversmith. I keep wanting to say Sliversmith. That's what I get for playing Magic too many years. Component Collector. Tapping at the window. Duress with a funky art. Shipwreck Sifters did that. Shadow Beast Sighting we did. Blade Brand. I think that's also a reprint. Target creature gains death touch till end of turn. Draw a card. 2 mana. Mounted Dread Knight. Did that one already. That feels like that's going to go into Joven as well. We're about halfway through the box now. Actually, what are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we're about halfway through the box. The human with a pumpkin over his head. You have to laugh when you see that. That is just a funny one. Planes. Crow King counterpart. Frog is the sincerest form of flattery. 1 green, 1 blue, 1 other. Create a token that's a copy of target non-frog creature, except it's a 1/1 green frog. Flashback. 1 green, 1 blue, 3 other. Boop. Nothing is funny. Oh god, the Mystic Skull. So, 2 mana, 1 tap, 1 mana of any color. 5 tap, transform it into a 5/6 that lets your lands tap for any color. That's going to be fun. One of the uncommons I was actually looking for. Infernal Grasp. 1 black, 1 white, 1 black, 1 other, instant. Destroy target creature, lose 2 life. So murder for 1 less black mana and 2 life. Such a good card. Unnatural Moonrise, we did that one already. Bait Hook Angler we did. Gavany Trapper we did. Blessed Defiance we did. Rotten Reunion we... Yeah, we did you. I can't remember what the name of it. But that art, that's like the, there's that one famous art with, like, the old couple staying outside their farmhouse. And one of them's got a pitchfork in hand. Pestilent Werewolf, Geist Wave. We did that one already. That's the Disperse. Siege Zombie. We did that. That's my third one. Moonrager Slash. Novice Occultist. And Dawnheart Rejuvenator with a normal art. Alright. That gets me about halfway through the box. But this is the faster half because a lot of this has already been, a lot of this we've already gone through. Beast Token, Island, ooh, dual land. Rockfall Vale. Rockfall Vale. 6 and change, not bad. Not a color scheme I'm likely to be playing in most formats. Doesn't mean I won't play it. But I generally don't play red-green combined. Usually I end up playing a monocolored. Depends on the format, really. And what I feel like putting together. Overwhelmed Archivist. We did you already. Dissipate makes a reappearance. Counter target spell. If it's countered, exile it instead. Seize the Storm. Oh yeah, this is where the elemental token comes from. 5 mana sorcery. You make an elemental token with power, and the token's got power and toughness equal to the number of instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard, plus, oh, sorry. I lied when I said this earlier. Instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard, plus the number of cards with flashback you own in exile, which are generally going to be instant and sorceries anyway. Lunarch Veteran. Oh, So this is the new Soul Warden effect. One white, 1/1. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, gain a life. Disturb cost of 2, which makes it a 1/1 flyer. Whenever another creature you control leaves the battlefield, gain a life. So the veteran side gains for stuff coming into play. The Luminous Phantom, it's leaves play, not dies, which means that stuff dying will trigger it, but stuff getting returned to your hand will trigger it. Stuff getting exiled will trigger it. If it comes off the board for any reason, it will trigger it. Ritual Guardian, we did you. Return to Nature. Love the card. Nothing well, I mean, I can't even say nothing fancy anymore. One green, one other. Instant. Choose one. Destroy target artifact, target enchantment, or exile card from a graveyard. So good. So much flexibility. Unblinking Observer. One blue, one other for 2/1. Tap for a blue, spend only to cast an instant or sorcery spell. Blue does not get mana creatures very often, but I think after green it might be like number 2, like actually producing mana like that, as opposed to come and play and get mana or whatever. I think it might actually be number 2 on the list after green these days. Duel for Dominance. Choose target creature you control and target creature you don't control. If you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, put +1 counter on the chosen creature you control. Then the chosen creatures fight each other. So I think that means that it only gets the +1 counter if you have Coven, but the rest of the ability still happens. I believe that's how that works. Secrets of the Key, we did that one already. Blood Pact, we did that one already. Mounted Dread Knight, still a really good card. Hobbling Zombie, I don't remember. Yeah, we did that one already. Festival Crasher, we did that already. That's the new Kiln Fiend. Alright. But yeah, like I said before, I'm excited about cards of all different rarities because I play multiple formats, including Pauper. And you want to play Pauper, um, you want to know what good commons are out there. The Celestus. This guy. $3 card. 3 mana legendary artifact. If it's neither day nor night, almost all these cards have got like if it's not day or night trigger, almost all of them suddenly make it day. Tap. Add 1 mana of any color. 3 tap. If it's night, it becomes day. Otherwise, it becomes night. Activate only as a sorcery. Whenever day becomes night or night becomes day becomes night, night divides day. You gain 1 life. You may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. That is cool. Delver's Secrets comes back as an uncommon. So 1 blue for 1/1. Uh, at the beginning of your upkeep, you may reveal. Look at the top card of your library. You may reveal it. If it's an instant or sorcery, transform the Delver, and it becomes a 3/2 flyer. Was a common. Is now uncommon. Uh, yeah, that's the second card they've done that with that I know of in this set. Dualcraft Trainer, 3/3 first strike for 4. Beginning of combat on your turn. Target creature you control get. So if you've got Coven, beginning of combat, something gets double strike till end of turn. Nice. Arcane Infusion. 1 blue, 1 red. Instant. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You can reveal an instant or sorcery and put it in your hand. Put the rest on the bottom in any order. Flash it back for 1 blue, 1 red, and 3. Harvest Tide Infiltrator. We did that one already. Barrage. We did. Celestia Sanctifier. We did. Otherworldly Gaze. We did. Crossroads Candle Guide. We did. How the Hunt. We did. Drowned Amalgam. We did. Blade Brand. We did. Hair. We did. Organ Hoarder. We did. Okay, next one. But yeah, so far, the best card I've cracked is a borderless Renin 6. So I'm not unhappy about that one. Day Night Token, Swamp, Foil Eaten Alive. What are you? Brutal Cathar. I don't remember having grabbed you. Nope, I've only got 1 white rare so far. Brutal Cathar. This guy. $1.50. So, 3 mana, 2/2. When it enters the battlefield or transforms into Brutal Cathar, so this side, exile target creature an opponent controls until this creature leaves the battlefield. And it transforms into Moonrage Brute, which is a 3/3 first strike with Ward of Pay 3 life. Wow. Okay, that's just going to be silly. So, whenever he transforms into this side, you exile something else. Or when he enters the battlefield, you keep exiling creatures. And then, that's his werewolf side. That's gonna be silly. Yeah, I know. I say that about a lot of these cards, but I mean that I can't see that not being at least a sideboard card. And if you can suddenly make it into night on a whim. Wow. Cathartic Pyre. Oh, cool. 1 red, 1 other, instant. Choose one. 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Or discard up to 2 cards and draw that many cards. Nice. Storm Skrillex, you're one of the first cards I cracked. You flipped over instants. You did things for instants and sorceries. Defend the Celestis. 4 mana, instant. Distribute 3/+1 counters among 1, 2, or 3 target creatures you control. Excuse me. I gotta get some halls or something. Or something. Tireless Hunter, we did you. Unruly Mob, we did you. Might of Old Ways, we did you. Pax Betrayal, Consider. Candlelit Cavalry. Olevia's Midnight Ambush. Ban on the Post. Right, we did that one already. Eccentric Farmer. Did that one. Alright. Next card, or next pack. Double-sider thing. Insect token. Woo. 3/3 insect token just sounds weird. Forest. Run, Forest, run. Dire Strain Rampage. I love that card. I have no idea how good it's going to be. Forest Drain, Rampage. $1.70. One red, one green, one other. Sorcery. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or land. And then basically they search for one basic land to replace whatever got blowed up and put in play tapped. And if they had a land get blown up, they search for a second one. So if you blew up an artifact or an enchant, like a non-land artifact or non-land enchantment, they get one land out of their deck. If you blow up a land, they get two. The lands enter tapped and they shuffle their deck. And then a flashback of one green, one red, and three. And that thing is going to be. That is going to be some. I like it for its flexibility and what it can blow up. And if I'm. Like. I'm willing to give somebody two basic lands for blowing up a Faceless Haven. I'm willing to give somebody, you know, two basic lands for blowing up, you know, a man land, like like the various creature land things that came out of Forgotten Realms. You know, I'm willing to blow up a lot of. I'm willing to give two lands for a lot of things, and depending on the artifact or enchantment, yeah, I'm willing to give up, especially if it's later in the game and you've already got like 8, 9, 10 lands in play. Sure, blow that up, blow up your artifact. Go ahead, have a couple more lands. By the way, do you have any basics left? Kessig Naturalist. Pretty art Kessig Naturalist. Oh yeah, one green, one red. 2/2. When it attacks, add red or green. You don't lose that as steps and phases end, and it switches to a 3/3 that gives your other wolves and werewolves +1/+1, and the same attack, get mana trigger. Pretty art is pretty. Blade Stitch Scab. One black, one blue, 2/3. Other zombies you control get +1/+0. One can make the argument that's a Lord Effect. Broodweaver. So it's a giant spider that when it dies, you get a 1/2. You get a half-size spider. uh, Lunarch Veteran. We did you. Thraben Exorcism. I believe we did that one already. Flare of Faith. Harvest Tide. Right, we did that one already. Of Wow, halfway through the thing. That's my first Evolving Wilds from this set. Which doesn't sound like a lot to some, but out of this set, it's a common. There's commons that I've got like 4 of by now. That's my first Evolving Wilds. I would have expected to get another one by now. Or at least already have one by now. And that one. Alright. Next pack. Okay. All these double-faced thingies. An actual foil swamp. And a basic island, and a regular island on top of that. Okay, get back here. Those don't want to go where they're supposed to go. Alright, what do I got for my rare? Curse. Oh god. It's the one with the eyeballs. Curse of Surveillance. Curse of Surveillance. Something like that. Probably only $1 rare. Yeah, it's $1 rare. At the beginning of enchanted player's upkeep, any number of target players other than that player Each draw card is equal to the number of curses attached to that player. So, in a normal game, if somebody's enchanting me with this, I don't get to draw a card, but my opponent does. In an EDH game, I don't get to draw a card on my upkeep, but each of my 3, 4, however many opponents gets to draw an additional card. That's gonna be fun. Covert Cut Purse. 3 mana, 2/2. Enters battlefield, destroy target creature you don't control that was dealt damage this turn. And then for 5 mana, it's disturbingly a 2/2 Flying Death Touch. That's the Cut Purse. And that's the Covetous Geist that it turns into. Phantom Courage we've done. Gavany Dawnguard. 3 mana, 3/3. Ward 1. Becomes day if it's not day or night yet. When time of day flips, look top 4 cards of your library, reveal a creature card CMC 3 or less, put in your hand, put the rest on the bottom in any order. So it's basically like every time it changes between day and night, it's like a 1 card collected company. And a 3/3 Ward 1 on top of that. For 3. Tavern Ruffian. Oh yeah, the 2/5 that becomes a 6/5. With no abilities other than being day-bound and night-bound. Still cool. Silversmith. Plummet. Foragers. Flip the switch. Stinger. Locked in the cemetery. Help! I'm not a zombie! Let me out! No way out. Of course. And Electric Revelation. Yeah, I've shown that one already. Alright. Next card. Boop. Another insect token. I swear those insects have got to be ginormous because they're as big as 3. Okay. Take a deep breath. Unnatural growth. This 1360 normally, but it's not the regular version. It's the foil. So $17. Okay. One foil unnatural growth for your perusal and enjoyment. And a foil. And a foil. Let's try that again. And an island. And because that's a foil, that takes a slot of one of the commons. So my actual rare is Triskidek a file, which is almost $2. 2 mana, 1/3. You have no maximum hand size. Always a fun piece of text to read. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have exactly 13 cards in your hand, you win the game. Pay 1 blue, 3 other to draw a card. Not complaining about that one. Heirloom. Oh no. Yeah. Heirloom Fiend. Heirloom Mirror. 1 black, 1 other. Artifact. Pay 1. Good lord. Pay 1. Tap it. Pay a life. Discard a card. Colon. So, you have to pay a mana. a life, a card, and tap this thing to activate it. Draw a card, mill a card, then put a ritual counter on Heirloom Mirror. Then if it's got 3 or more ritual counters on it, remove them and transform it. Activate only as a sorcery. And it becomes a 4/4 flyer, which has a 4/4 flying demon, obviously. Pay a black and 2 other, exile a card from your graveyard and put a +1/+1 counter on it. So the exile and counter are both part of the um, effect. So here's the mirror, and that's the demon that it turns into. Play with fire. We didn't start it. Right. This is the uncommon shock that if you hit a player with it, you scry one. Diregraph Rebirth. Oh yeah. 1 black, 1 green, 3 other. Costs 1 less to cast for each creature that died this turn. So in theory, you can pay 2 mana for this. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. And it's 7 to cast with flashback. Like its flashback cost is 7. But again, if enough creatures died, you can cast it for cheaper. Tireless Hauler. Yep. Pretty art is pretty. Homestead Courage we've got. How the Hunt we did. Oh, Otherworldly Gaze. Now I get my second Evolving Wilds. Festival Crasher. Hobbling Zombie. Neonate's Rush. Zombie. Blood Pact. Alright. I've got after this pack, I've got like 12 packs left. So this is my first of the remaining 13 packs. One of those Deviary cards. Bird. Mountain. Okay. Champion of the Perished. Right. The normal version is a $6 card. Sorry, $6.90. So $7 card. Ambitious Farmhand. 2 mana for 1/1, enters battlefield, search for basic plains, put in your hand, then shuffle. And then if you've got Coven, pay 2 white, 1 other to transform it into a 3/3 with lifelink. So here's the side that fetches land, then you pay 3 mana, and it becomes this guy. So the hard part is actually just hitting Coven with that guy. Flush Taker. Did you? Field of Ruin. Lunarch Veteran. Blessed Defiance. Flare of Faith. Candlelit Cavalry. Foragers. Consider this. Crawl from the Cellar. Electric Revelation. Organ Hoarder. You can start a piano business. And Olivia's Midnight Ambush. Alright, next pack. Down to the last third. Woot. That. Day Token. Plains. I saw that. I'm not looking at it too hard. I saw that. Foil Timberland Guide. Right. Foil. Let's Forgotten Archangel, the black white one. Liea, Forgotten Archangel. You just under $5, really? I'll bet you she's going to end up going up. Two white, one black, two other for a 4/5 flying lifelink. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, return that card to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. So, unlike the original printing of Vathrios, it's not unless somebody does something. No, no. A non-token dies, that's going back to your hand at the end of turn. If a creature an opponent controls would die, exile it instead. Wow. Okay. Yeah. That's gonna be a lot. I don't mean dollar wise, but it might be at some point. I'm reading that and yeah. The you're getting stuff back is a triggered ability. The your opponent's stuff gets exiled is a replacement effect. They don't even your stuff gets a chance to come back to your hand at the end of turn. Your opponent's stuff doesn't make it to the graveyard. Spell Rune Painter. Did you already? Right, you're that guy. Audric's Outrunner. Did you? Dissipate. Did you? Tavern Ruffian. Unruly Mob. Larder Zombie. Harvestide Sentry. Crossroads Candle Guide. Devious Cover Up. Man, I kind of want to build a deck that's got like 4 Dissipate and 4 Devious Cover Up and just make a mess of people. Diregraph Horde. Brimstone Vandal. Eccentric Farmer. Alright. Day Night Thing. Ah, Bat Token. Bat Token. Okay. Startle. Foil Startle. It's only a common, but it's foil. It's shiny. It's pretty. Mountain. Spectral Adversary. Okay. This is the blue one. I have the white one, the black one. Adversary. Now I got the blue one, which is 850. You're a 2 mana, 2/1 flash flying with that's 2 mana every time you activate it. Like for the pseudo kicker cost. When you pay this one or more times, put that many +1 counters on it. Then up to that many other target artifacts, creatures, and/or enchantments phase out. What? So it's 2 to cast normally, and you get a 2/1 flash flying, which is fine. It's serviceable. But if you pay, say, 4 more mana, it's special cost twice when it comes into play. You get this will get 2/1 counters out, which will make it so 6 mana for a 4/3 flash flying. That phases out 2 cards that will either be artifacts, creatures, and/or enchantments. Huh. Mystic Skull, did you? Dreadhound. I don't remember if we did you. 6 mana, 6/6 Demon Dog. That's a hilarious wording right there. Demon Dog. Enters battlefield, mill 3 cards. When a creature dies or a creature is put into a graveyard from a library, each opponent loses 1 life. Okay, this is like another version of Sir Conrad. I'm gonna have to hide that from my roommate because he's got a Sir Conrad deck for EDH, and putting that thing in it would get stupid. I mean, it's we already end up taking a lot of damage from stuff getting milled in a mono black deck, and then add that to it. No, just stop that. Winterthorn Blessing. Do we do you already? No, we didn't. 1 blue, 1 green sorcery. +1 counter on up to 1 target creature you control. Tap up to 1 target creature you don't control, and that creature doesn't untap next turn. And then you can flash it back for an extra mana. Stack Awakener. We did that one. Oh yeah, now we're down to commons. Candle Trap. Flip the switch. Plummet. Pax Betrayal. Revenge of the Drowned. No Way Out. Immolation. And a pretty Candlegrove Witch. This is the one that it's 2 mana for a 2/2, and if you've got Covenants, this thing's got flying. Pretty art. Alright. How are we doing? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Plus this. And AMD Software just turned around and said, hey, I got updates for you. I'm like, okay, that's nice. You can wait. Human token. Oh, God. This is the kind of card name that you would see in Yu-Gi-Oh! Although I can't say that Magic would not have done this too. Hostile, which turns into a creeping in. Okay. $4 card, not bad. Tap for colorless. Tap 1, tap and sack it. Put a soul counter on this thing. Then if there's 3 or more, remove them and transform it and then untap it. And it becomes a 3/7. Man, that's weird stats. Whenever it attacks, you can exile creature card from your graveyard. You sack the creatures, okay. If you do, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is number of creature cards exiled with creeping in, and pay 4 to phase it out. So you can see the front side there. That's what it turns into. I will get used to which way to orient these things eventually. Storm Skrillex, got that already. Ominous Roost, got that already. Sacred Fire, we didn't start it. Morning Patrol, Thraben Exorcism, because Kaya. Tapping out the window, I prefer untapping. Duress, Shipwreck Sifters, Snarling Wolf, Lambholt Harrier, Shadow Beast Sighting, Blade Brand, and Mounted Dread Knight. So I have 8 packs, including this one left. That day token. Forest. Curse of Leeches. Millions of leeches. Leeches for me. Millions of leeches. Leeches. Leeches for free. Which is probably like $1 rare even as a... there. Foil. Yeah, it's still only $1. QQ. So 3 mana. As this permanent transforms into Curse of Leeches, a attach it to a player. Okay, this one is weird. Beginning of enchanted player's upkeep, they lose one life and you gain one life. Daybound. And it becomes a 4/4 with lifelink. There's the other side. Oops, wrong slot. You go there. And my normal one is Tovolar's. Whoops. Okay, you're not gonna do that anymore. Fine, whatever. Tovolar's Hunt Master, which is basically a green. Um. Oh, what the heck are you called? Grave Titan. Yeah, $5. 6 mana for 6/6. Enters battlefield. Make 2 wolf tokens. Flip it over, becomes Tovolar's Pack Later, which is a 7/7. When it enters battlefield or attacks, make 2 wolf tokens. Pay 2 green, 2 other. Another target wolf or werewolf you control fights target creature you don't control. Turns into this guy. Defend the Celestus. We did that already. Obsessive Astronomer. Loyal Griff. Loyal Griff. Yep. Did that one. That's the Gale Drifter. Soul Guide Grift. Storm Rider. Spirit Path to the Festival. Silver Bolt. Component Collector. Raise the Effigy. I still like that card. Lock in the Cemetery. Bat Whisper. Bat Whisper. Alright. That bat token is land. What is it? It is land. Have I got all the curses now in this set? $1.70. How many curses are there in this set? I want to know this. I want to know now. Sets. Nope, wrong one. Innistrad Midnight Hunt. Subtype CURSC. There are 4. So I have Shaken of Faith. I have Leeches. I have Surveillance. The green one is going to have to be a 4-drop. Curse of Silence. 1 weight. How are you only, like, not even $2? Enters the battlefield, choose a card name. Spells with a chosen name enchanted player casts cost 2 more to cast. And then, if they're actually successful, you can sack this to draw a card. How's that bad? Outland Liberator. Cool. We now have another. This is like our second Thrashing Brontodon type card in the set. 2 mana for 2/2. That turns into a 3/3 with the same ability, and when it attacks, destroy target artifact or enchantment defending player controls. So it's not bad enough. We've got a white one. Now we got the green one. Oh god, Lunar Frenzy. Okay. Back in my day, like when I started playing, it was Hell from Beyond, and it was red, and It was just X, you know, black plus X. Or sorry, it wasn't red, it was black. It was one black plus X. Target creature gets plus X plus 0 till end of turn. Now it's red, but the creature also gets first strike and trample. Bunch of lunatics, I'm telling you. Hungry for more. This is where the vampire token comes from. One black, one red. You make a 3/1 black red vampire creature token with trample, lifelink, and haste. And you sack at the end of turn. And then for an extra mana, you can flash it back. So this is basically a half-sized Spark Trooper with a more relevant creature type, generally. Harvest-Tide Infiltrator. I don't remember. I don't remember if I've got one of these ones before, but there's the pretty art. Gavany Tripper. Gavany Silversmith, which I keep wanting to call Sliversmith because there is a card with that name. Falcon Abomination, Bounding Wolf, Jack-o'-lantern, Levin a Perforator, Behemoth, Arden Elementalist, and Arrogant Outlaw. I am down to 6 packs left. Alright. What do we got? What's the chance, I mean, probably unlikely, but what's the chance I get something that's better than the, the textless, or not the textless, the borderless Renin 6, or Renin 7, I should say. Ooh, Devil Token. I don't remember if I've got one of those already, but I do now. Forest. I don't remember where your card. Sigarda Splendor. Oh god, the one that tries to be... It's like it tries to be Phyrexian Arena. As it enters the battlefield, note your life total. At the beginning of your upkeep, draw a card if your life total is greater than or equal to the last node life total for Sigarda Splendor. Then note your life total. Whenever you cast a white spell, gain a life. Beloved Beggar. Oh yeah, 2 mana for 0/4 that turns into a Sarah Angel, but the Sarah Angel side costs 6. Because, disturbed. Bloodtooth Collector. We had you already, I think. Corpse Cobble. 1 black, 1 blue. Okay. Corpse Cobble. 1 black, 1 blue, instant. Additional cost, sack any number of creatures. Create a XX blue and black zombie creature token with menace, where X is the total power of the sacrificed creatures. Okay, that's better than, because I thought it was just going to be where X is how many creatures you sack. No, it's the total power of them. And then flashback is 1 black, 1 blue, plus 3. Shady Traveler, we did you. Unruly Mob, I think I got a place up by now. Dominance. My third Evolving Wilds. Unblinking Observer, Return to Nature, Neonate's Rush, Eaten Alive, Stinger, and Bladebrand. Almost there. Wow, I started this almost 3 hours ago. It takes me about 3 hours to go through the box, but again, that's because a lot of this I end up going through, for the first roughly half of the box, I'm going through what commons I have as well. I don't remember having you as Funky. Over overgrown farmland. Borderless. $11. Nice. Whoops. Boom. Keswick Naturalist. Pretty art again. Blade Stitch Scab. Blade Stitch Scab. Cathar's Call. Uh. Huh. So 3 mana enchant creature. You give the creature vigilance, and every end at the beginning of your end step, you make a human token. Tavern Ruffian, Ritual Guardian, Clarion Cathars, Might of the Old Ways, Unblinking Observer, Return to Nature, Burn the Accursed, Dawnheart Rejuvenator. I don't think I've shown the normal version of this one. Vampire Interloper, and Moonrager Slash. Alright. Almost there. Oh, now I've got a spider token for the spider that dies and comes in half. Oh god. Old Stick Fingers. I know, but it's still a weird name. Old Stick Fingers. Normal version. It's only $2. QQ. Also, I've noticed most, yeah, well, no, same comment I made earlier. When you cast this, so, you cast it, and then I guess the triggered ability goes on the stack. Like, you cast Old Stick Fingers. Stick Fingers is on the stack, and then the cast trigger goes on top. I believe that's how that works. I'll have to double check, but when you cast a spell, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal X creature cards, because this is 1 black, 1 green plus X. Put all creature cards revealed this way in your graveyard, then the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. And then this has got power and toughness equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Interesting. Brave Survivor, we did you already. Clear Shot, I did not do Clear Shot. 3 mana, 3 mana instant. Target creature you control gets +1/+1 till end of turn, then deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. Grizzly Ghoul, 4/3 for 1 black, 1 green, 2 other. Trample. Enters battlefield with a +1 counter for each creature that died this turn? So, if I attack with 2 creatures and you block with 2 creatures and all 4 die, for whatever reason, death touch, size, whatever, this thing's going to be an 8/7 if I cast it after combat. That's kind of wow. Lunarch Veteran, Celestia Sanctifier, Search Pretty Captain. Drawing cards in white feels so weird. I'm not complaining. Trust me, I'm not complaining. Duel for Dominance, Transfer Amalgam. Something I've been wanting it for white for a long time. Arrogant Outlaw, Defenestrate, and Abandon the Post. And finding ways to get white to draw cards that made sense is not easy. You want to stick to the color pie way of doing things. You want, if white is drawing cards, to make it feel like, hey, this is a white way to draw cards. Ooze. Oh yeah, I have an ooze token, which is basically a token of Tarmogoyf, but it only cares about your own side. Shipwreck Marsh. Whoops. Shipwreck Marsh. Shipwreck Marsh. $5. Oh, 720. Okay. I mean, again, these because these are good dual lands, especially if you're playing any kind of a slower deck at all, because they come into play untapped later in the game. Um, and good lands are I mean, they're always necessary. Village Watch, and honestly, I would. People will argue with me about this, and maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong, and I don't care. I know my opinion. I don't like the pathways. My biggest problem with the pathways is it's a rare that's only ever going to that's a dual land, but only ever taps for one color of mana, whatever side you put it on. I don't like that, and I think it's because I got spoiled with cards like this. You know, whoops, whatever. You know what I mean? Like the marsh we're looking at, and because that will tap for either of two colors, and you know, after about turn, after like turn two, it's going to come into play untapped. I'm not going to complain about that. I like that. I would much rather have that in most decks than have the whatever the black blue pathway is. The black blue pathway in a situation like that is going to be useful in turn one or turn two. And after that, give me this. But turn one or turn two, I don't care. I play a swamp on turn one, a swamp on turn two. Play this on turn three. Now I've got my blue source and my black and a third black. It largely boils down to the fact that it's a rare that bothers me. If it was an uncommon, I probably wouldn't even think of it. Anyway, um, Village Watch, Seize the Storm, Contortionist Troop. Uh, I don't remember showing this one. 1 green plus X. 0/0. It's basically a Hydra, but it's a human instead of a Hydra. Beginning of your end step, if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, put a +1 counter on target creature you control. Stack Awakener, you Hedge Witch, Mask, Cathar's Commando, Bramble Armor, Geist Wave, Pestilent Wolf, Rotten Union, Stinger, Novice Occultist, and Ardent Elementalist. 2 packs left. But I thought 2-pack was dead. Whatever. Alright, what do we got here? Divider thingy. Zombie token. Swamp token. I think I've only had one foil basic so far. Foil Burn the Accursed. Okay, I got this set's Wrath of God. Vanquish the Horde. Currently it's a $7 card, which sounds about right, because it costs 1 less to cast for each creature on the battlefield. It's basically another Not chain reaction. Oh man, I can see it. I can see it. It's like red plus 8. And it deals like. Alright. I'm sure it's red plus 8. Sorcery. Mana cost 8. Red equals search. Blasphemous Act. Alright. Flame Channeler. I don't remember. I think this is my first Flame Channeler. 1 red plus 1 for 2/2 human wizard. Whenever a spell you control deals damage, transform it into a 3/3 embodiment of flame. Whenever a spell you control deals damage, put a flame counter on embodiment of flame. Pay 1, remove a flame counter, exile the top card of your library. You can play the card this turn. So basically, spells that deal damage allow you to exile cards from your deck that you can actually cast from exile. Firmament Sage. 4 mana, 2/3. If it's not day or night, it becomes day. And whenever the two swap, draw a card. My first one of those, too. Sunrise Cavalier. I don't think I've got this one yet either. 1 red, 1 white, 1 other, 3/3 trample haste. If it's not day or night, it becomes day. Whenever the two swap, +1 counter on target creature you control. Tireless Hunter, got you. Sungold Barrage, Secrets of the Key, Timberland Guide, Stormrider Spirit, Duress. I think that gives me a playset of that one now. Bat Whisper, Stolen Vitality, Shadow Beast Sighting, and the last pack. Dun, 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 dun. One of those thingies. A spirit token. Another swamp. Pax Betrayal as a foil. Ooh. Another card yeah. Ghoul Caller's Harvest. It's like a buck or so. Yeah, buck and change. 1 black, 1 green. Sorcery. Create X zombie tokens with Decayed, where X is half the number of creature cards in your graveyard rounded up. Rounded up. Okay. I mean, to be fair, they've got Decayed. Flash a pack for 1 black, 1 green, and 3. Chaplain of Alms. We did this guy already. Infernal Grasp. Got a second Infernal Grasp. That's gonna be nice. Faithful Mending, aka Faithless Looting. That's why. Okay. Bird Admirer. Homestead Courage. Startle. Stuffed Beer. Timberland Guide. Burn the Accursed. Interloper. Stolen Vitality. Eaten Alive. Alright. So, you know what? I'm gonna sleeve. Actually, I'm gonna have to sleeve a lot of these. But land. Nope. Land. So, okay. So I have two, four. I got 7 lands out of that. Damn it. Irk. There we go. Think I did okay there. One deserted beach extended, one overgrown farmland extended, one overgrown farmland foil, and the rest are regulars. I got one Celestis. I got see if I can do this. I've got 9 multicolored cards. This is just my rares and mythics I'm pointing out, by the way. An extended art Renin 7, a foil unnatural growth, and 3 other greens. 3 red, one of which is the alternate art, which is going to be a fun card. Here's my black, including a foil Curse of Leeches. There's my blue. And there's my white. And I think I did okay with this. 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 13, 1, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 22, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. I got 36 plus 3 foil rares out of all that. And the only thing I really want to double check is how many copies of Evolving Wilds did I get. I got 3 copies of Evolving Wilds. I still need 1 more. I has a sads. But anyway, that is it. I think I'm going to close down the stream for the night. I have one other box that I'm considering opening up on, that I really am considering opening up on stream sometime. And I don't know when, but it's probably going to be before the end of the year. And I still have a booster box of Konzatark here. And the number one thing that's in there that people actually care about are the fetch lands. That's the number one thing people actually legitimately care about. Beyond that, most of the rest of the cards are like, that's nice. But I'll probably end up cracking it on stream. The fetches are normal rares. I think it's typical to get something like 4 to a box. And if one of them ends up being foil, huzzah. I think I paid something like $120 for the box when it was new. And let's see if I can Cons of Tark here. Booster box. No. Alright. Let's try somewhere else. Phase 2 face games. Cons of Tark here. Booster box. Do you have a price? Yes, they do. $229, so it's roughly doubled in price. Which, isn't bad. But, again, it's not unreasonable to get like 4 fetches out of that. But anyway, yes, I will, you know what? Can I? Let's see if we can read. Yes, we can. Let's see if this actually works. I have never done this before. Let's try rating somebody and see what happens. Bye for now.